Hello, mom and friends. My name is Pauline Febriani Pada from grade 1 on PPNI. I would so like to present a biology psyche score assignment with the title genetics. Next, I will present my work in the form of a PowerPoint. 1. The basic. The material that have present is the first chart. There are 5 points. I will explain briefly one by one. The first part is the basic in general genetics is the study of heredity. The theory of the inheritance of this trait was first coined by Gregor Johann Mendel in the year 1822 to 1884. Mendel argues that the traits can be passed down from generation to generation through determination. The second point is inheritance. In the inheritance of genes, there are several points, namely genetic dominance, Mendel's law of segregation, Mendel's law of independent assortment, polygenic inheritance, traits that have sex. The next one is about genes and chromosome. In the genes and chromosome points, there are chromosome and sex, gene mutation for cut features caused by gene mutation, genetic variation, and gene chromosome abnormalities. The following are genes and protein synthesis. There are ways to do protein synthesis, how to transcribe DNA, and decode your genetic code. The follows mitosis and meiosis DNA replication are DNA replication. The stage of meiosis, the cell grows cell step by step guide to mitosis, and the seven difference between mitosis and meiosis. The last point in part 1 is the reproduction of gamete, haploid cells, how sexual reproduction occurs, types of fertilization in sexual reproduction, parthenogenesis, and without sexual fertilization, what is asexual reproduction. The second part is the background. Genetics is a branch of biology that tries to explain the similarities and differences in traits that are inherited in living things. In addition, genetics also tries to answer questions related to what is inherited or passed on from parents to offspring, how the mechanism of genetic material is passed on, and how the role of genetic material is. Genetic broadly discussed. The structure of genetic material, including genes, chromosome, DNA, RNA, plasmid, episomes, and transposable elements. 2. Reproduction of genetic material, including cell reproduction, DNA replication, reverse transcription, rolling shear replication, cytoplasmic integration, and Mendelian inheritance. 3. Work of genetic material, including the scope of genetic material, transcription, post-transcription, modification, genetic code, translation, the concept of one gene, one enzyme, gene work, interaction, control of gene work in prokaryotics, control of gene work in eukaryotic, genetic control of immune response, genetic control of cell division, gender expression, change in genetic material. 4. Change is genetic material including mutation and recombination. 5. Genetic in population and 6. Inherent of genetic material. Seed theories. The third part is the genetic theories. There are some experts that I have met are James Watson, Visma, Bonnet, and Wolf. The following are the characteristics of genes. 1. Replication, duplicate, passed on to doctor cell information store. 2. Expressing information starting with DNA transcription to product RNA followed by translation to product AA or protein. The central dogma of molecular genetics or DNA makes RNA which makes protein. And the next variation due to mutation. The following is about the modification of Mendel's law. Modification of the ratio 3 in 1. Semi-dominance occurs when a dominant gen does not complete cover in the influence of its recessive allele so that in heterozygous individuals intermediate traits will appear. X. Inheritance of flower color and for flowers or Mirabilis jalapa. P. Red X white. Gametes F1 pink self pollinated or F2 with phenotype ratio red pink white 1 in 2 in 1. The second part is autosomal inheritance. Autosomal inheritance is a heredity trait determined by genes in autosomes that are dominant and recessive. Autosomal inheritance in humans can be passed on to both men and women. 1. Autosomal gain inheritance dominant ADCSC or disorder is said to be inherited through autosomal dominance when either disorders said to be inherited through autosomal dominance when the disorder or disease occurs even though there is only one dominant allele inherited from one parent. B. Inheritance of an autosomal recessive trait. The parents of a child who is infected with a disease due to an autosomal recessive gene disorder might not manifest in disease. The instructions of genes are the sets of instructions that determine what an organism looks like, how it survives, and how it behaves in its environment. Genes become part of DNA, which is the responsible of the function of making protein. The last part is sex determination is a phenomenon where the sex of an organism can be determined male or female. This can be influenced by two main factors, namely genetics and environmental. Genetics and environment. Recessive inheritance. In the inheritance of autosomal recessive traits is determined by DNA. The genes contained in DNA in the autosome, namely between the 1 to 22 second chromosome pairs. Being inheritance of this type of traits passed one by a recessive or lowercase genotype. 5. Gender determination. Sex determination is a phenomenon in which the sex of an organism can be determined male or female. This can be influenced by two main factors, namely genetic and environmental. One, genetic in general, it can be said the genetic factor determines the sex of a lying team. Two, environmental. Environment usually what takes a role here is a psychological state. Okay, that's all for my presentation. Sorry if there are mistakes, and thank you.